All right, here we are, City Park, hole 6, par 5, which is going to be a very, very tricky hole. It's going to be very wind dependent about how you go about playing this. So one of the things that you can do is you can kind of go off this way. If you get a tailwind like this, I'm going to probably recommend that you just try to beat it down here as far as possible to just kind of eliminate the things that can go wrong. But this is only this is a very tailwind specific shot here. So you're going to have to hit the fairway first hop, and ideally, if you can get it in this little tiny fairway, that's not going to be the easiest task, but that is going to give you a very reasonable chance to go about doing this hole. And you should be able to, get it down somewhere towards there from this third tee deck, even with, weak clubs. So here you can see my opponent has Thor 5. He should still easily be able to get it down to that last fairway. Keeping in mind that, the more wind that you have, the better. So you might want to, even potentially, take off some wind resistance just to make sure that you get a little bit more length in the event that you need it. But here you can see my opponent still hits the fairway with the first hop. That's really the foremost thing that you need to do, especially on a tailwind shot. It will be a little bit wind specific, but here you can see my opponent gets downwind. It's going to basically, kind of secure the possibility that they can still get to the green. So what you're going to see me do here, not much elevation. I think there is a little bit. So maybe I'm going to go minus 5% here. Very, very little elevation change. And we're also going to go very close to min club. So here is right around 8 rings. And what you'll see with what I'm doing with the guide, I might just leave it a little bit short, a little bit offset, right around 8 rings. It looks like I missed my perfect ball. I do expect that'll probably deflect right because of that. It looks like it does. So no surprise there. You're really going to need to focus on those perfects. And there you can see that I missed it. But a very straightforward hole with the way that we got the wind here. Should be relatively easy for you guys to get through this hole. What I'm going to do is, split these tutorials up. I'm assuming that, with that wind, you can see that my opponent kind of gets bailed out. It pretty much gives him a free pass up here. So you can expect we're going to go to the shootout. With that being said, I'm going to split these videos up into 2 videos so you guys can have individual holes. I really don't have a lot of content in terms of, ooh, that was unlucky. Still going to be makeable from there. It'll be a little bit wind specific and perfect ball related. It looks like actually going to get a very side wind here. So it might make it a little bit tougher, but it's still going to be makeable, especially with perfect ball. But if we do go to shootout, I am going to split these up. And as I mentioned, there's still going to be a relatively high percentage make chance here. The only thing you probably wouldn't want to do is kind of a full backspin. What I would try to do is I would try to land it on the front of the green, use a front spin rollout, and just try to put as much backspin that lets you land on the front of the green. This looks like it's a little bit more backspin. He might be trying to do a little bit too much side door. And the problem with this shot is it's very speed dependent. So if, with all that backspin, if you don't have the speed just perfect, especially on a side wind, then it's not going to, roll out the way that you want it, coming in kind of from a side door type perspective. So you do want to be a little bit careful when going about playing like that. But, good luck with that hole, guys, and catch you guys on the next one.